And welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. Our next guest is a celebrity's celebrity. He's the star of more movies than one can even count, including a new one releasing on August 14th called Spree, which is in part a satire of a social media influencer and the culture that's been taken too far. We have one of the stars of that movie joining us now, David Arquette. David, thank you so much for being here with us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Greg.
So there's a lot I want to talk to you about, but in this movie, one thing I wanted to get to is just the production of it. So a lot of the action was filmed on iPhones and GoPros, and I want to know what that's like from an acting standpoint to do that versus a more traditional shoot.
Well, Eugene Kotryrenko is just an incredible director, and he came up with this concept to shoot it all on iPhones and GoPros. So as an actor, it's kind of freeing. You do all these sort of takes kind of in a row. You just go back to one. The cameras are all rolling all the time. So you have to kind of be on your toes. You have to be ready to improvise. You have to be in the moment and in the character at all times, which is kind of an interesting experiment.
Well, with that, and this movie in particular, because it's pretty poignant right now when it's coming out and what it's about. And one of the things in it as well is there's this live comment aspect as they're driving around and getting these comments. Now, during that, was that something that you were fed in real time? How did that work into the production of it?
That all of the comments sort of alongside were done in post, so we didn't really have that. They do have an incredible social media program going on at Kurt's World 96 on Instagram, which you follow this guy's sort of backstory, and you can learn a lot about what's leading up to the film from that website. And it's been interesting because it kind of combines this real world that we're living in with this sort of fake social media world, and then it translates into this film. But it's a powerful film about sort of the need for likes and followers on Instagram, just social media in general. And then this desire, really kind of twisted desire in how he's going to go about getting these followers.
Well, and I think that's an interesting point, especially, with somebody like you. Like, you've lived around paparazzi and being a celebrity for so long, and now with social media and the idea of personal privacy just completely changing, where do you think the line should be drawn with that when it comes to personal privacy?
It's a complicated question. I mean, by being an actor or being in the sort of public domain, in a sense, you kind of put yourself out there. I also think there's not really a lot of secrets in the world anymore. You know, everything's pretty out there, and it's important to sort of be true to yourself. Stand up for what you believe in, and I've always been really open. So I hope sort of people have an understanding of who I am. I've kind of been very open about my failures and my feelings and sort of my honest truth, but it's complicated. I mean, kids today have a lot better grasp of that, of sort of what they put out into into the social media world and what they keep private. I've never been very good at that. I've been really an open book.
Which you are, and actually that's a great point to talk about. You do have another movie that's also out, a documentary called "You Cannot Kill David Arquette," which documents kind of your life and your return to wrestling, which is such an interesting facet of your career. And I'm a wrestling fan myself, but from your standpoint, with this movie, why do you think, and this is a point in the trailer, why do you think the wrestling world kind of turned their back on you there at that beginning of this career?
Well, I was made the champion of WCW in 2000, and I hadn't paid my dues, and I didn't deserve it. I thought it was going to be a fun storyline where it's like a fan finally becomes the champion. It's kind of every fan's dream to see yourself as one of those champions. So I thought it would be more taken that way, but it wasn't. And they got really upset about it. Until I went into the wrestling business for the last 2 years and really toured the country and did the independent circuit, did I really understand why they got so mad, why was so much anger about it. And I really wanted to do a film that honored wrestling, that shows people sort of behind the curtain a little, so that they could get a better understanding of what wrestling is, and how it's sort of important to a lot of people. It's a lot of people's livelihood. It's also provides an escape for a lot of people in the way most sports do, where you can just kind of tune into it and follow a storyline, pick your favorite wrestlers, and kind of cheer for them. Just something I loved it as a kid, and it always sort of left a sort of painful place in my heart. And it also added to me sort of beating up myself a lot. You listen to bullies online, and it could start seeping in, especially if you're telling yourself a lot of those same things. So through the process of this documentary, I learned a lot of like self-love and acceptance and understanding where a lot of my pain came from, so that I could address it in a more healthy, balanced way.
That's a really interesting thing and to share, going back to you talking about being open, you're sharing that with everybody with this documentary. A wrestling question for you. Would you rather be a heel or a face?
Listen, I'm a horrible heel. I'm sort of more of a face in general. In my life, I prefer the good guys in general. So I have a wrestling tag team partner named RJ City, and he's definitely a heel. Boo! You have to boo heels because they're bad guys, and we have to support baby faces. And even in this crazy world we're living in right now, there's a lot of heels calling shots in the current state.
Right? Yeah. And so that's why wrestling is a great escape. One more just quick question, because I have to ask, because I'm looking at it behind you here. Can you tell us the story behind the monkey that is there over your shoulder?
That is the monkey that was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure outside of the bike
No
store.
way!
He's got a tuxedo
Are you kidding me?
in it or something. But it's the same sort of monkey. I'm not sure if it's the same exact one, but he usually waves. His arm's broken, but he waves and moves. And I just like it. It makes me happy. Paul Rubens is a huge influence as a creator and a performer and an entertainer. So I've learned a lot from him. I got a tattoo of Pee-wee on my shoulder. It's one of the people that I really love.
David, I'm just going to tell you right now, Pee-wee's Big Adventure is my favorite movie of all time. So the story of that monkey, that is awesome. I don't have a tattoo of him, but I just went and saw him. I could talk to you for an hour about that, but that's amazing.
Oh, yeah. His live show's incredible.
It's so good. All right, going back to, though, you have your movie, both movies, Spree. So Spree, which is going to be coming out on demand on August 14th, so everybody can go and check it out. And definitely watch that. It's a perfect for the time movie, and also your documentary. And David, I just want to say thank you so much for taking some time to join us, to talk to us. I appreciate it a lot. Appreciate what you do and being open with everybody. And just thanks for being you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching all this. It's really what we do. What we do is we want to entertain you guys. So when things click and people really enjoy the films and the sort of television we do, that's what it's all about for us.
Well, David, you do great at it, and thanks, man. Thanks for being here on the show, and it's nice to talk to a fellow Pee-wee fan.
Yeah, and wrestling fan.
And wrestling, yeah. All right, David Arquette right here on Digital Threads Live. So awesome.